Hi, my name is Michael Griffin, and I'm the founder of ClientLook CRM. This special presentation is focused on the topic of why CRM rollouts fail and how to make them succeed. Now, I've had more than 25 years experience with CRM in commercial real estate, and I've seen it all. Technology is changing fast, and it's easy to make mistakes. But the good news is that if you know what to look for, then you can avoid those mistakes. So whether you're a company CTO, a manager, a team leader, or simply someone who wants to be more effective, my goal over the next few minutes is to help you learn everything you need to know in order to avoid failure and maximize success with CRM. Here we go. It's always been my belief that every person, every team, every company needs to use a CRM. In fact, CRMs have proven over the years to be one of the most effective and measurable technology investments you can make. So let's start by understanding why CRM is so important in the first place. The first point here is the one that really matters. Brokers who use a CRM make more money, period. Because here's the problem. It doesn't matter how experienced you are, how well you network, or what market you're in. Your brain does not scale. Humans do not scale. Your memory, your mental capacity has limits. Computers and software, conversely, don't suffer from these same limitations. So if you want to grow, then you need a CRM to manage all that data. There's no way around it. Companies and teams that implement a CRM work together longer. Retention among companies that use a CRM is far better than a loosely knit group of cowboys using whatever they want with one foot out the door. And I think this is a testimony to the fact that using a CRM means you make more money, as I mentioned earlier, and people who are doing well are typically happy and are less likely to want to make a change. If you want to improve retention, then implement a CRM. But make sure it's one that people will use. Otherwise, you introduce a whole new set of problems that we'll talk about in a minute. Companies that use a CRM work more effectively and more synergistically. They don't have multiple brokers calling on the same people. They communicate better internally. They provide far better client service. If you want to develop a higher caliber brand and promote a distinguishing corporate image, then use a CRM. The most prestigious and successful companies I worked with over the years will all point to their CRM as critical to their success. The last big CRM benefit stems from the fact that all this broker and team success, along with improvements in corporate image and competency, lead to higher corporate revenue. Any gains without this type of foundation are likely fleeting and certainly fragile. To promote long-term, lasting success, build your business around a CRM. It's one of the few tangible business assets you'll create. So the question that I get when I'm out talking about CRMs most frequently is, what's the best CRM for me, for my team, for my company? And as you might expect, I'm a little biased towards ClientLook, but for good reason. But either way, let me start by dispelling an unfortunate myth that's kind of cropped up over the years. So how many of you have heard this? The best CRM is the one you'll use. Now, this might apply to cameras or maybe something like gym equipment, but I'm here to tell you that this has no relevance to CRM in commercial real estate. And that's because you can pick the wrong solution. You can't just pick anything, check the CRM box and think that your business will thrive. In fact, unless you're using something that's propelling your success every day, then your choice is a mistake. It's a liability, and it will inevitably erode your business. So let me reframe this sentiment with a more modern definition. I believe that the best CRM helps you win business. It's as simple as that. If you apply this definition to CRM or any technology tool for that matter, then it should make your choices much clearer. Unless you pick a solution that enables you to build relationships, to be more effective, and to deliver better client service in a way that ultimately helps you win business, then you need to make a switch, and you need to switch today. Okay, so CRM is the greatest tool to ever hit commercial real estate technology, right? Well, in many cases, yes, but over the years, CRM has earned a bad reputation because some rollouts, believe it or not, aren't successful. Some are total disasters. In the last 2 years alone, we've seen more than $100 million in failed CRM initiatives in commercial real estate. So it's no surprise that companies get spooked when they start considering a CRM rollout. Many have gotten really badly burned. And a lot of this failed investment could have been avoided if companies simply understood the most common pitfalls. That they aren't a mystery to me, and they shouldn't be a mystery to you. So now I'm going to reveal the top 3 reasons why CRMs fail so you know what to avoid. And this first one is every broker's dreaded fear, that you work for us. It's the idea that some corporate mandated technology tool, some workflow turns them into some gear, some cog in the company's operation, when all they really care about is their own business. And this happens when corporate CRM benefits get prioritized over those of the brokers. You get a fancy big name corporate CRM, but with some trade-offs. Maybe everything is free, but if you leave, then the company gets to keep your data. Maybe your data can never be privatized and it's always shared with everyone. We've even seen initiatives that enable the company to reassign leads to someone else. Needless to say, nobody ever goes for this stuff. Now, I can definitely see why a company would institute rules for compliance, but the number one priority for any CRM has to be making the broker more productive. The broker's needs must come first. Any subsequent corporate benefits are simply a byproduct of the broker's success. So if you can strike this kind of balance, then it's a real win-win. And ultimately, I've seen tens of millions of dollars in CRM failures because the company puts its own interests first. Just focus on the broker and everything else will fall into place. Okay, here's reason number 2, and we hear this all the time. Our big CRM initiative failed due to a training issue. The brokers just wouldn't invest the time to learn everything. Sound familiar? Well, it's a really bad excuse, and here's why. Training is really designed to compensate for poorly designed software. It's not a broker's fault if some feature or workflow is so complicated that the only way they get it is if someone trains them how to use it. So whose fault is it? Well, some of the blame goes to whoever chooses the overly complex CRM solution in the first place. They should have known better. But I also put the blame on the software provider. They failed to invest the time to create a solution that it's intuitive enough for anyone to grasp without help. Instead, they create some feature that pushes the burden on you. You now need to invest time instead of them. The worst ones are those companies that create complexity just to sell you training services to solve their workflow problems. It's a cheat and it's a shady business practice. It might work in other industries, but it's got no role in commercial real estate. Your time is so valuable. Don't fall for this. People look at CRM and they get sold on fancy dashboards or lots of buttons and menus. In reality, none of that matters. What matters is that CRM users are able to be productive without all kinds of training. This is a contact page in ClientLook as an example. It's simple, it's intuitive. In every record in ClientLook, whether it's a contact, a property, a deal, a comp, whatever, looks exactly the same. And we do this on purpose so that everything is always familiar. In the end, simple really is better. Simple wins. I cannot overstate this. Don't be fooled into thinking complexity is better. Know that as complexity increases, adoption decreases. There's no way around it. And if you want high adoption, you need as little complexity as possible. I sat in on a competitor's presentation recently, and they outlined their 5-step implementation process that involved weeks of onboarding. And it was meant to sound impressive, but it wasn't. It's irresponsible. And it's no wonder why that kind of complexity is linked to so many CRM failures. And before I move on, let me leave you with this. In our pockets, we carry around a computing device that's touted as being more powerful than the computers that took man to the moon. But how many of us have been to mobile phone school? How many hours of training have you invested to use this highly sophisticated device? It should be just about zero. I mean, and if Apple, for example, can create an operating system that anybody, even kids can master, then so can developers of business software. I mean, at least that's the approach we take here at ClientLook. Here's my last big reason for why CRMs fail, and it's historically been almost insurmountable. It's the premise that either you have an assistant or you are one. Now, the dirty secret of any CRM is that using one can require 2 to 4 or more hours per day of dedicated time. For most people, that's just not possible. And it's one of the most common reasons for CRM failure. People want a CRM. They need a CRM, but they just don't have the time. So let me tell you a story to make this even clearer. I ran into one of ClientLook's power users at a conference recently, and he proudly told me that this was his best year in over 34 years in the business. And he said that he owed it all to ClientLook, along with guidance he received from a coaching agency he had been using. And I was thrilled to hear about his success with ClientLook, but I was intrigued by the guidance he received. So I asked him to describe the suggestions that made such a big difference. So among other things, he said that his coach had helped him develop a list of things not to do. These were all the things that prevented him from devoting time to higher value tasks like closing deals. So, what did the list include? Well, lots of things, but the one that struck me was the suggestion that he not spend time entering CRM data. And believe it or not, I wasn't surprised. But think about it. How can someone who credits his success to using ClientLook make that claim when he's not even supposed to spend time using a CRM in the first place? Well, this person is no different than anyone else, certainly no different than you. The truth is that ClientLook subscribers are some of the most successful people in the industry. And get this, last year they entered more than 750,000 properties, 2.4 million contacts, and negotiated over $10 billion in transactions. And that's a mountain of data entry that should have crushed them. So how did ClientLook subscribers pull this off? They outsourced their data entry to our team of back office assistants. Now, this is a team of about a dozen real live people who spend their days doing data entry and responding to the requests of ClientLook subscribers. This is how super successful brokers get all the benefits of a CRM without all the grunt work. Every day, subscribers email things like business cards and flyers and comps and all kinds of other stuff to the team for data entry. And all these things get entered manually without relying on any error-prone AI or other digital hacks that just don't work. The team is literally doing the work that we could all do ourselves, except for the fact that it's not the best use of our time. Now, people also phone in requests, which is especially useful after appointments. So imagine that you're in your car racing from one appointment to the next, and you have notes from your last meeting that you can't forget, along with follow-up tasks that you need to schedule. So you call the team and you leave a voicemail and you describe the outcome of your meeting down to the smallest detail and you include your follow-up tasks. Someone on the team will retrieve your message and transcribe everything directly into your account. You even get an email when it's all done. Now, the only substitute for all this is you actually doing all this work yourself. But that's big trouble. So want to avoid CRM failure? Then you need a team of assistants available for your data entry. Otherwise, you're working as an assistant yourself. Now that you know all the pitfalls to avoid with a CRM rollout, let me help you understand how to know what CRM success looks like. And fortunately, it's pretty simple. Now, this slide says it all. Adoption really is all that matters. And this isn't just true with ClientLook, it's true with any technology tool you might use. Spend some time examining your daily workflow. Ask around your office, is the CRM that you're supposed to be using, or maybe the one that you're promoting, depending on your role, really getting used? And in doing stuff like logging in at the end of the month to enter your pipeline or entering a deal in order to get paid does not count. The average ClientLook user spends upwards of 4 hours per day logged into their account. And as you've learned, this time isn't spent doing data entry. It's productive relationship building time. So ask yourself, if the CRM you're using is empowering your business, is it helping you get more leads? Is it helping you work more effectively and deliver better client service? If the answer to any of these questions is no, or you feel like you're ending up working for your CRM instead of the other way around, then make a switch. But make a switch today, even though it could be temporarily painful, because it's definitely worth it in the long run. I guarantee that your lack of current success isn't a training issue. And it isn't because you need to double down on data entry. And I also guarantee that a poor situation is not going to improve. Find a solution that gives you the resources to win, or watch your competition that's gone through this discovery and found the right fit pass you right by. Now, here are some next steps for everybody watching today, even existing subscribers. So first, if you're not on board with ClientLook yet, send an email to sales@clientlook.com to request a personalized overview. They'll help you cut to the chase to quickly understand how ClientLook can help you. Now, you could also sign up for a free trial on our website at clientlook.com. You can experience everything I've told you about here today, including the team of back office assistants. Now, if you're already a ClientLook subscriber, then consider requesting a success audit. Now, most people do this periodically to give our success team an opportunity to analyze your workflow so they can make recommendations for improvements. It's free, and it's a great way to ensure that you're always getting the most out of ClientLook. Well, so now you know why CRMs fail and how to make them successful. And I hope you're able to use this information to help make your CRM rollout successful. And of course, I hope you'll consider ClientLook like so many others. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to next time.